Good afternoon, Same Business, Different Day podcast listeners. I'd like to start off this episode with a special shout out to today's guest and friend of the show, Adam Boyar. Throughout the episode, I introduced him affectionately by his nickname, Boyarsky. That was, of course, with all due respect. Adam, it was a great show, and I'm glad that you came to sit down with us. And since today we're talking a bit about family business, let's just be clear that the family name is Boyar. Now that you know it, please turn it up and enjoy it.
Back to learning from my mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I would have known then, like a little bit what I know now.
Uh-oh.
In that, well, no, I just like
drop the lessons. No, this is good.
I had a tendency to blame other people for what was happening.
I like that.
Right?
I like that.
If I had academic troubles at Boulder, well, the teacher doesn't get me, or there's no resource here for me. Like, there's nobody telling me to go to class. There's nobody outlining my homework.
Yes.
Like, this sucks. Like,
Yeah.
they did me wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And I wish I could like shake that me and just be like, dude, it's your fault, bro.
Same business, different day.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Same Business, Different Day podcast. We are in season 3, and so that means that it's even going to be better than it was before. I am your host, Zeke Corley, and I want to start off with a good business lesson for you guys, the Same Business, Different Day business lesson. If you are a product-based business, you have to find the balance between the quality of your product and the cost that you can pass on to your client. Now, let's talk about this guest today. When I first met this guest years ago, I think we were just trying to figure out, I think he said about 2008, he was already a hardworking businessman on the rise. The general manager in charge of a restaurant that I spent a lot of time at. We got acquainted, we became close. I watched him work long hours, learning the ins and outs of the business, while his wife Kristen would show up at the restaurant with their newborn. His sister-in-law, Rachel, running the bar. A family man to the core. I'd like the Same Business, Different Day audience. Welcome my friend, Adam Boyarsky, to the show.
Hey.
Hey.
Pretty good.
Right on, man.
Have you done that before?
Once or twice. Just once or twice. It is season 3.
Yeah.
So look, how we're going to do the show. We're going to start off like talking about your personal life, start off talking about the early days, and then we'll eventually reveal what it is that you do. Okay?
Right,
so, yeah. Where are you from?
Where am I from? I'm from a cool place called Mill Valley, California.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Northern
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
Yep. So, interesting place in that it's right across the Golden Gate Bridge. So
Right.
San Francisco's here. We're literally on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of cool because we're so close to the city.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, like we were in and out of the city all the time. But like day to day, we're in like a small town.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Muir Woods is right there. Tons of hiking. Tons of like outdoor activities.
Yeah, I never got to that side. You know, I grew up
really?
in San Jose,
Yeah.
but so we went up to San Francisco all the time, but never got to Mill Valley really. I don't think I ever spent any
You know what's
time
crazy?
over there.
I feel like whatever part of the bay you're in,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really go to the other parts of the bay unless something like,
Right.
obviously, yeah, family, whatever. But like,
Yeah.
like I didn't ever go to San Jose.
Really?
No. That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
man, there was so much going on, but that's the thing about the bay. Every pocket has so much going on.
Yeah, totally. It's little like micro cultures. You know?
Exactly. Now, but what was the little town, the little shopping town up there near
Sausalito.
Sausalito?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful little
Yeah.
town.
So that's our neighboring town.
Yeah.
They're like on the water. Beautiful. Like,
Beautiful town. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You remember what you wanted to be when you grew up? You early aspirations?
Sports. Man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything with a ball, I was all on it.
Mm-hmm.
So baseball, basketball, football. That's what I knew I was going to do that. You know, it wasn't
Okay.
like, can I? It was like I knew that's what was going to happen. So
Okay. Did you play all the way through high school and everything?
Yeah, played through high school. So high school baseball. I'm a senior,
Mm-hmm.
and our coach, Tim, love this guy, early kind of mentor, taught me how to just grind and work hard.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a nephew, and his nephew, Dimitri White.
Okay.
And Dimitri White was a MLB player.
Okay.
So this dude would come to our practices sometimes.
Okay.
And just kind of like mess around. I don't know if you've seen like a pro athlete, like outside of their professional, like not on TV, like seen them just mess around somehow, like throw a football.
Oh, sure. Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, it's a different level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this dude would come out and he would take batting practice with us. And I mean, the ball is just like scorching off his bat. Like, I've never seen a ball come off a bat like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when he threw it, like it would just whistle. It was crazy. It was like a different breed of player.
Mm-hmm.
And I distinctly remember senior year hanging out with him and seeing him and being like, I don't think I got this. And this dude barely played in the majors. Like he played like 30 games maybe, you know?
That's funny. You know what? Because I kind of have a similar story, right? So I played football, I think just my senior year. I was a receiver, but I wasn't really serious about it. I was more track and field, right? But one of the track and field coaches were like, you know, I need you to play football, right? So I went and played football as a receiver, and our trainer, that, you know, she was actually helping rehabilitate a couple of NFL players, you know, because we were up there with the Raiders and the Niners and all of that stuff. So there was a DB, and I don't even know what his name was. He was a cornerback, and it was either, you know, in the league or trying out for the league or whatever. He was just rehabilitating from a knee injury, a whole surgery, right? And so she's like, let's have Zeke run some routes and you guard him. And the whole time I'm running these, like I could barely run. He's just pushing me and punching me and pushing, you know, knocking me. And he's just following my every move. Everywhere I went, he went. I was like, this ain't gonna last long. I'm not gonna be a star receiver anywhere.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. They're on,
you know, the pros are on a different level, man.
different level. I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
So you talked about your coach as a mentor.
Yeah.
What about other mentors that you had growing up?
I mean, let's see. So mentors for me, it's not so, like, I feel like there's a stigma around mentors where it's like, you know, you gotta ask someone, hey Zeke, could you be my mentor, man? Could you help me out? You know what I mean? And
well, yeah, okay, I guess,
and that does happen.
It's been happening more
for sure.
Yeah.
That does happen. But like when I was growing up, it was more like just watching people from afar, because you can learn a
influences.
Yeah, totally. So whether it's like a Tony Robbins type,
sure,
or even like some of the athletes that I really loved back in the day, like Will Clark, or even now like Steph Curry, something like someone who has extremely aligned values with what you think, and they might be where you want to be. Whether you meet them or not, like you can still use them as a mentor, and kind of like soak up like a sponge what they're saying and what they're doing. So when I was a kid, growing up, I mean, my dad was always big in my life. My parents divorced when I was 2.
Okay.
So it was good because I was little. I didn't really understand what was going on, obviously. And my dad moved across the country, so he's in New York basically my whole childhood. But,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was long distance to a point, but he would always make a point of coming out, you know, 2-3 times a year. I would always go there.
Oh, you did visit as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had his own business. He had a lot of stuff going on. So I watched him kind of navigate the world in a way that I know he was trying his best and doing his best.
Okay.
But he made some mistakes, and he'll be the first to tell you, you know, like he might not have been the perfect dad, but he always had his heart first, and he always had intentions were there.
Okay.
You know? And I think what I learned from him was just like, you might mess up, but it's like, then what do you do? You know? So how can you learn from that? How can you be better the next time so you don't make that same mistake?
That's right.
Because sometimes, you know, you see people make
but
the same
mistakes
mistake
do
over.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't.
Mistakes happen. It's life. And he was never hard on me. When I made a mistake, he would just always use it kind of like a learning lesson.
That's right.
Know? So, and then my mom, she taught me a lot about empathy. She was just super empathetic to everyone, like homeless people. Like she would find a dog on the street, we'd take it home, all of a sudden we have a new dog, we'd try to find the owner.
Yeah.
Things like that. And then we had kids my friends, that something might not be going great at their house, so she would bring them in.
Yeah.
Like we had kids living at our house my whole growing up, which was cool. But now looking back, I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool that you just took in a kid to live with us.
I can see that in you too, though. I see that in you, being sweet. And I also see the bounce back in you too.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's get into that.
Hi, I'm Jeff Fox, founder of StarFox Media. We're a digital marketing and video production company that focuses on serving small businesses here in VISTA, California. We have the team and all of the equipment necessary to produce, film, edit, and distribute your podcast to as many people as possible. For more information, you can reach out to us via email at info@starfox.media or give us a call at 760-385-3117. Let StarFox Media help you tell your brand story today.
North County Daily Star is the leading source for news and community information along the 78 corridor. It's free to subscribe and it is updated daily. Look for us on your mobile device or computer at ncdailystar.com.
So, how about your first job? What do you remember? What you where you started working first?
Yeah, so I was a pizza delivery driver.
Okay.
For Eddie's Pizza.
Okay. In Mill Valley, it's still the same area. Okay.
Still in Mill Valley. Family-run business, Portuguese family, and the whole family worked there. The Eddie, his wife Rosa, their two kids, a cousin. There was like the whole family.
Family.
So,
okay, so you got an experience in family business and the restaurant industry early.
I was the only one who was not part of their family.
Okay.
Yes, and it was, but I was delivering pizzas.
Yeah.
So I didn't quite get as much of the hospitality aspect as I loved, because I saw that and I was like, that's what I want. That's what I'm
getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Okay.
So, and even delivering pizzas, like I would try to make that experience the best I could for that person getting the pizza,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm driving around in a little RX-7 with no maps. It's before iPhones, getting lost in the Mill Valley Hills.
Well, how was you getting around? We had conversations on here before about not the Atlas, the Thomas Guide.
Thomas Guide.
Do you know how to use a Thomas Guide?
Wasn't a Thomas Guide. So
I was a Thomas Guide guy.
What's the other one? Is
getting directions over the phone and writing it down. We used to write down step-by-step directions. And my mom, I learned how to write shorthand with my mom, so it was just like an L circled, and then it'll be like this direction, and then an R circle. So that's like the left, the right. You just follow those directions, and if you missed it, then you have to backtrack based on that same little yellow piece of paper.
But
you use the map.
I use the map.
And, but you were delivering pizzas. Which is cool.
But in between deliveries, like I would be part of the restaurant, and so they'd give me little tasks like, hey, go bust that table, go do that. So I was kind of like around, and I saw like the power that you can have as a restaurant employee to change someone's day. You know what I mean? Like you can make their day better. And I was like, wow, this is like crazy. And I was only 16, so I didn't fully grasp it, but the seeds were definitely planted there, and I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Like, and I would see them deal with angry customers. I would see them deal with regulars, with happy people.
Yeah.
And I was always trying to like pick Eddie's brain, like, hey, what just happened there? Why is that dude so mad? And so he would kind of break it down for me, and it was cool. It's like an early little apprenticeship.
Yeah. And did you? I mean, you you got tips too, so you could figure out who was happy enough to pay you better, and you could figure out the trends there as well, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So cash speaks pretty good.
So then, did you go on to school more after that? What was your education beyond there?
I went to University of Colorado, Boulder.
Okay, so that was a big culture shock, right?
Yes, that was a huge culture. I mean, for me, so I was just like, obviously, in high school, I lived at home.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of weird how we just throw kids out into like random places.
Yeah.
With no teaching, really. You're just like, go figure it out. I mean, there's some resources, but like not really.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to learn. But then I'm like thinking about like, that's just kind of crazy how that happens. So, I was there for a year.
Okay.
And I had some trouble like adjusting, you know.
So you didn't choose Colorado. Did you choose this
I chose
school?
Colorado.
Did you visit it first?
Yeah, I was stoked. It was
okay.
It's a great place.
Okay.
I mean, it's. I think it's like, well, back then it was like number 2 party school in the country.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's one upside.
Yeah.
Until the snow starts falling.
Right. Lots of snow, some black ice. So I had some academic troubles in that.
Okay.
And again, so like back to learning from my mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I would have known then, like a little bit what I know now. In that, well, no, I just like
drop the lessons. No, this is good.
I had a tendency to blame other people for what was happening.
I like that.
Right?
I like that.
So if I had academic troubles at Boulder, well, the teacher doesn't get me, or there's no resource here for me. Like there's nobody telling me to go to class. There's nobody outlining my homework.
Yes.
Like, this sucks. Like they did me wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And I wish I could like shake that me and just be like, dude, it's your fault, bro. Like get it together.
Fault or not, what are we gonna do about it now, right? Kind of like the lessons that your dad told you. It's like, okay, there's these lessons here, there's these mistakes. Now what are we gonna do?
Exactly.
Now how are we gonna be malleable to the situation and be versatile enough to figure out where we'll go next?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. But I love those stories too when it comes to education. You know, we were just talking about it on the last show about how some people, you know, they look at that as a stigma, that they had trouble in school or something like that. But there are a lot of places where you can be learning. There's a lot of places to get education. There are, you know, you can get that work experience. You can do trade school, whatever it is, and then still wind up. So your path is what matters. And this is what I like. This is because different people take the fork in the road in different directions.
Totally.
And tell us more about this journey.
So I learned pretty quick, like college or any school really, but specifically college, when you don't have your parents or a lot of help guiding you, it's structure, and what you learn in college is basically how to manage yourself, how to time manage, how to get network and meet people who can help you, and you can help as well.
Yeah.
So I quickly learned, like, I need to come up with some systems here for myself to succeed.
Yeah.
So what I did is I went to junior college up in Marin. And kind of rebounded there and played basketball on the team. So that was cool too.
Okay.
And I ended up transferring down here to San Diego State.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really just taught me, like, the systems that you're only as good as your systems, basically, is what I took from that, and I keep taking. So every job I'm in, I'm like, I just love systems. You know?
I love that.
I love to see the
output. That's great. That's great. So
come from systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're not just systems that are created for you, but you're creating systems as well.
Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, there's
now.
Yes. And there's good systems to take from other people, but I do believe the best system is the one you're gonna follow. So you could give me the best system, but if
yeah, I'm not the right guy for that job or that system.
Yeah, and it might not work for the way I operate.
You think. Yeah.
So it's like, to your point, being malleable is a huge part. So we might even, like, I manage restaurants too, so we might have a system for doing something, but Zeke might not, his skill set isn't quite lending itself to that system. So the system has to be a little malleable. It's got to have some wiggle room. We can't just be black and white, like, oh, you don't follow the system, well, I'm going to write you up, or, strike one.
Yeah.
Like how some management is.
Absolutely.
So,
what was that like, though, those experiences managing restaurants? Because that's when, like I said, when I met you, you were the GM at Playa Grill.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many of those did you,
cool.
You worked in that industry for quite a while, right?
GM at different restaurants for 12 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big deal, though. I mean, you're in charge. It's on your shoulders, and you've got this whole staff that you got to make sure it gets trained. Yep. And I'm not just talking about the front of the house, but the back of the house as well, right? It's a big deal.
And you can tell, like, I can walk into a restaurant and see what the culture is based on behaviors I see. You know what I mean? So, like, if my whatever, it doesn't matter, but the water's empty for 5 minutes. Like, I can tell they don't value that for some reason. I don't know. Maybe
Something's wrong with the system.
Yeah, the system is a little broken somehow. So anyway, yeah.
That's great. And as a regular at various restaurants, I can feel that too. And if it's all right, then I come back. That's why I'm coming back, because I'm feeling like, my water's not just going to stay empty, or, the things that you're finding out as the brass, I'm seeing that from the actual table, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And want to be a part of that, and when you become a regular, it's almost like you become one of the employees.
Totally. Yeah. You're still friends with some of the employees.
Absolutely. And, and I'll just refer, hey, so-and-so needs some more, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm a part of this whole thing. No, it's fun, man.
But I will tell you the struggle. So basically the restaurant industry has this archaic system of, you're a good busser, let's say. Okay. They're going to make you a server. You're a good server. Okay. They're going to make you a assistant manager.
I hear you.
And you just keep going up without really, you might not have the skill set to be a good manager. You might be the best server in San Diego. That really doesn't mean anything about management. Sure. Other than how to be a good server. But like, managing is a lot more than that. So you'll see oftentimes in the restaurant industry, like, the best servers become managers, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work out. It's not for them.
And even the same thing for the busser to the server.
Yeah.
Right? A good busser, if you're a good busser, you can make great money. Just keep bussing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to graduate to being a server or quote unquote graduate, because that's not where your skill set is. Totally. So no, because you go to like Vegas or those 5-star restaurants and stuff. That guy's been bussing for 40 years. Yeah. He doesn't even think about being a server. It's not even on his time frame.
I mean, you can do that, but what I'm saying is the restaurant industry is just,
that's how they move it. Yeah.
Yeah. Without the good restaurants will train you and help you get better.
Sure.
But for the most part, it's like, oh, you're good at busser. Come on, like, shadow this guy for 3 shifts, and now you're on your own. It's kind of archaic a little bit like that. But,
yeah.
But so when I was managing, I made it a point to, like, when we promote someone, I want that person, like, trained as if, as if it's a baby me. And I want that person to know that we all have that person's back.
That's right.
Because that doesn't happen often.
I like that.
So
I like that.
Welcome back, everybody. Historic downtown Vista is open and waiting for you. 6 award-winning breweries, more than 40 restaurants, theaters, art, music, and fun shops, from home decor and clothing to gems and even exotic birds and fish. The hometown charm that makes downtown Vista so special is swinging its doors open to say hello. Visit downtownvista.org to learn more. That's downtownvista.org. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Ignoring squills and warning lights on your car is not a good way to lower the cost of owning it. And going without essential business insurance is not a good way to save money in your business. What we know for sure is doing either will cost you more than you will save in the short and the long run. With YourInsurancePlace.com, you can trust a specialist to help maintain your cars and avoid major expenses. Business owners should look to business insurance specialists when it comes to finding competitively priced, quality insurance coverage for their businesses. At YourInsurancePlace.com, we specialize in workers' compensation, general and professional liability, employment practices and cyber liability, property owner policies, and bonds for most types of businesses. YourInsurancePlace.com knows that we can help. If you're uncovered, need to lower the cost of your current insurance, or need better coverage, we can help. YourInsurancePlace.com has been helping businesses for close to 40 years. If you need a quote on your insurance, call us now at 858-569-8100 or find us at YourInsurancePlace.com. We are business insurance specialists ready to help. So you came down to San Diego State, and you stayed.
I stayed.
What got you to stay? Is it because you got a job, or is it? I know it's a hard place to leave. I keep trying to tell people this.
So I moved here in 1999. Remember Y2K?
Yes. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember Y2K.
I was here for Y2K. Made it through.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been here almost 20 22 years.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
Thinking about why just you bringing that up. It's just like, think about a fake catastrophe versus we just getting through this pandemic. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So people weren't even thinking about Y2K anymore. You think about the real, like this is for the history books. The Y2K one was kind of like a joke history book.
Yeah. Joke history. So
you came down to San Diego and just stayed.
I just stayed. I mean, it helped. I met my beautiful wife.
That's what I was going to say. That's where I was trying to segue
Yeah.
to, because I want to talk about you just building a family down here. So let me say this in the reveal. Adam doesn't just claim to be a family man, but he put his money where his mouth is and started a business with his family. He doesn't just talk about buying and selling local. He's made that his business model. And he doesn't just talk about living healthy and using raw ingredients. The proof is in the jar. I'm proud to be sitting down with the owner of Crossroots Juice and my friend, Adam Boyar.
Nice.
Like that?
Yeah, that was good too.
I love it. Right on.
Proof is
That's
in
for
the
you.
jar.
The proof is in the jar.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So tell me about these healthy life choices. It's all yours, man. I'm going to cut that snippet out for you and just shoot it over to you.
So in the restaurant industry, the part I loved was creating experiences for people, managing people, teaching, all of that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't love, or I guess like fell out of love with, was the product that was being served. So food, drinks, not that anything's wrong with it, but like I didn't enjoy trying to sell something that I didn't really believe in.
Okay.
Wholeheartedly.
Okay.
As a good thing to put in your body,
Yeah.
So, but everywhere I worked had like healthy options.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't synergizing with like exactly how I thought and felt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like making green juices at my house. I'm making smoothies, and then I'm coming to work and selling carnitas and, and
Right.
carne asada fries.
Yeah.
So that kind of all changed in 2012 when I left Playa Grill and I went to this place called Beaming. Beaming is it's a wellness cafe.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the first thing I had ever seen like it. Now there's a bunch of them.
Okay.
But it was the first thing with like beautiful raw foods and made to order smoothies, and like they were making their own almond milk. Coconut cream that they're making out of like raw coconuts, like crazy stuff I never had seen before.
Yeah.
Especially not at a restaurant or anywhere that I could possibly work at.
Mm-hmm.
So I met the owner, and basically through Doug, who owns Playa Grill.
Right.
He knew the owner, Lisa, and I started working for her as general manager of this cafe, and it was like a magic switch where my love for the hospitality and taking care of people and leading people, all of that, and I get to like see transformations of the guests because they did a juice cleanse, or I get to see their kids. They don't have to drink Sprite or Coke or chop a can of orange juice. Like they found a smoothie they love, and it's loaded with like superfood greens and like crazy stuff like that.
Right.
And I see firsthand these people because they come every day, and you could literally see them just like change.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I experienced that really ever in a work environment. Fell in love with it, worked there for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's what led me to where I am now. So I had always wanted to open my own something. Like I've had an entrepreneurial spirit, and I've been trying to see like where's that going to go. So
right.
Along the way,
and you have to be patient with that. You have to show its head.
Yeah, totally. And along the way, I've been like Rolodexing like different techniques. Like I have a Evernote on my MacBook, for example, and there's just like folders of just like different systems, different strategies, different techniques for doing things. Just things I learned along the way. So I have this like just Rolodex of information. And experience. So and then basically, so the pandemic happened, and it really happened. Crossroots Juice happened because I needed something healthy. I was like, it was hard to get healthy food. And so I'm making juice all the time for myself, making juice for the kids, juice for my wife. Some of the neighbors had some. And everyone was like, this juice is really good. Like,
Okay.
maybe
Great.
you could do something here.
It is good. I tell you from experience.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the genesis of it, and then it was COVID. It was smack middle of COVID, and so we launched with home delivery as our
That's big.
vessel to get it to the people.
Yeah.
And it's taken off. It's taken off well. So we deliver all over San Diego. Cold pressed juice. Right
That's
to
amazing.
your
Just
door,
as a
yeah.
business model, delivering to their door.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Give us a little bit of a idea of the juices in the process.
Yeah. So it's a cold pressed juice.
I mean, a lot of people don't know what that means necessarily.
Totally. So when you go to like a Whole Foods or a juice bar and you order a juice from them, you'll oftentimes see this big spinning machine, and it makes like a loud noise, and they throw all the stuff in there, and it's like zzz, zzz, zzz. So that is one way to make juice. Okay, that's called a centrifugal juice.
Okay.
There's some issues with that juice in that it pretty much like deteriorates any nutrients that are in those vegetables or fruit over a little bit of time. So cold press is this technology that they take two like steel plates, and they have hydraulic presses on each side, and they slowly just like crush the vegetables, which leaves everything intact. So you get like a smoother juice. You don't have those air bubbles. You get a more nutrient dense juice. You can blend the flavors better because they don't separate like you might see at those other kinds. So there's tons of advantages. It lasts longer, and it's the best way to drink juice. Hands down. Like
That's the best way.
That's just the way. Yeah.
That's it. I heard that. So what about like what type of ingredients are you using?
Yeah, so we use all local produce.
Of it.
Yeah, so we try to work directly with farmers. It's as much as we can. It's honestly a little difficult, and that's something I'm learning. These distributors of the produce kind of have a lock on that, so sometimes the farm won't even let you go direct, so you have to go through the distributor.
Okay.
But needless to say, we're using the product from local farms, which is really cool to just learn that game, because I've never been in agriculture or anything close to that, other than just food. But yeah, so yeah, all local produce, organic as much as we can. Sometimes it's just not possible,
right?
But organic for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the packaging is dope too. I like the jars that you put them in, and the label. All of that is beautiful.
So when we first started, we were kicking around different ideas for a vessel, for a bottle, jar, whatever you call it. And plastic has its benefits. It's easier to move around. It's cheaper. It's easier to hold maybe sometimes. So that's one route. And then we were like, okay, but what if we did glass? Like, what does that even look like? It wasn't really an option. Like we were set on the plastic. And then we did some research, and we found out just how devastating those plastic bottles are. I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we got to do glass. We got to do glass, or we're not going to do this. Like, we're not going to launch this in plastic bottles. So it took some time, but we found a perfect jar. It was important to us to get a congruent jar where the sides are like the same; they don't dip in.
Right.
It's easier to drink out of, and it like provides the juice a little bit of room. Because when you have those like small mouths on the top of jars, when you try to drink them, they kind of like bubble up, and it just like
yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
yes.
So it's like drinking out of a pint glass as opposed to like a bottle. So we found the jar. It was middle of COVID, so there was like some just manufacturing issues, but we bounced through all that. We get this pallet of jars. We ordered like 5,000 jars, and they show up to our house on this big pallet, and it's like stacked up above our house. It was cool. It was fun.
That's hilarious. That's great. Yeah. Now the culture of juicing, I mean, where does that even start? I mean, I'd only been hearing about cold pressed juices recently. That's me personally. I mean, of course, people think going healthy is, I'm just going to drink a smoothie or get an acai bowl or something like that. But there's a whole culture behind this.
So part of my frustration as just a consumer is the industry in general, there's not a lot of regulations on the words and the verbiage that you can say.
Okay.
So you can say healthy, you can say fresh, natural, you can say 100% juice. You can say all these things, and there's no definition for that word. So you'll see like an Oreo, and it'll be like fresh, natural.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's difficult to even be healthy, even if you want to be healthy. You know, it's hard to know. There's a lot of confusion out there. So we wanted to make it simple and let everyone know exactly like what we do, and it's 100% raw. So you can't. That's one word you can't say unless you are 100% raw.
Okay.
Yep. So our juices, there's no pasteurizing or any preservatives or anything like that, which is a great juice. Hurts a little bit like on the shelf life and stuff like that, but yeah, that's what we wanted to do. So
did you see a lot of when did you start seeing a lot of people becoming super interested in raw cold pressed juice?
Totally. So 2012, when I started at Beaming, I had also never heard of cold pressed juice.
Okay.
So I think I would say like 2000. I know there was. I researched when I started there, like what is cold pressed juice, and it was like around 2005.
Okay.
Is when it like started.
Yeah.
And I mean.
But it
really
kind of grew into like a movement.
Yeah, yeah. It was a huge, I mean, it still is a movement, but it was like huge around 2012, 13, 14.
Yeah.
And what happened is the market got so flooded that it's just like coffees. Like you see coffee shops every 3 blocks. Well, they can't all really survive like that.
Yeah.
And it's a hard business. Honestly, like numbers wise, it's a very difficult business.
Yeah.
Because you have so many variables on the juice, on the produce. The price fluctuation is like crazy.
Okay.
There's a lot of waste in the industry in general. And it's also hard because then you got to charge like $10 for a juice, and people don't really understand that. So it's kind of hard to communicate the value.
What's up, San Diego? 2021 has been a year of getting back to work, back to school, back to life. In juggling everything else, you may have found yourself in a cycle of unhealthy habits. And if so, now's the time to break free from that rut. My friends Adam and Kristen at Crossroads Juice are here to help you live a healthier lifestyle. A local company with one thing in mind: bring organic nutrition to all. They deliver 100% raw, cold-pressed organic juice and other goodies to your San Diego doorstep. While using local produce sourced from organic farmers in Southern California, Crossroads creates powerful and delicious nutrition. You'll feel energized, clear-minded, and lighter on your feet, or in my case, my bike. It's the perfect boost to get me through my day and help me recover from my rides. Not only that, it tastes amazing. And they deliver. I'm currently hooked on the juice called Hotel Del, which has fresh white peaches, lemon, ginger, and mint. If you are ready for a change and want to kickstart a healthier lifestyle or maintain what you've already started in a convenient way, try Crossroads Juice. You can find them online at www.crossroadsjuice.com. CROSSROOTS juice.com. They're hooking you, our listeners, up with a unique promo code, BUSINESS. That's right. This will get you 20% off your first order. Always free delivery in San Diego with orders over $40. So now's the time to get your health back on track with this masterpiece of nature. CrossroadsJuice.com. Use promo code BUSINESS. Crossroads Juice. Do what matters. Be well, my friends.
That the consumer is getting. So for all of those reasons that I just spoke of, the juice business kind of like hit this wall. I would say like 2017 or 18.
Okay.
And you saw either a lot of businesses closing or like being acquired by bigger companies. Like the place I worked, Beaming, got acquired by Moon Juice, a different, basically, yeah, kind of like the Starbucks of that. So the industry as a whole just kind of like shrunk, and it kind of self-corrected itself from this peak that we had. And now I feel like that has all like corrected itself. And so there's a bunch of like big conglomerates like Moon Juice, Suja, some other big players, but the little kind of like family run cold pressed juice is not as like, there's not as many of them now as there were.
Yeah. I mean, well, you had mentioned cost, and so it made me think about like that freshness of quality. It's kind of like the business lesson we were teaching at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
The freshness and the quality ingredients that you've got. Like, how do you figure out how not to have to pass all of that cost on to the clientele?
Yeah. So a lot of it's working with the vendors directly,
Right.
And smartly kind of configuring your menu to like cross-utilize different ingredients. Cucumbers, for example, like you'll find cucumbers not only because it's a really powerful vegetable, but you'll find cucumbers in a lot of our juices.
That cucumber with the jalapeno one, that
Yeah,
one was
you
popular
tried
at
that?
home, man.
Yeah.
That was a good one,
Yeah.
man. The carrot ones are good too, man.
Yeah.
Real delicious.
Carrot, ginger, turmeric, orange.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, basically to answer your question, you just want to, just like any other food business, you want to like try to cross utilize as many ingredients throughout your menu as you can.
Yeah.
So you don't just have like, shrimp for just this one dish down
Mm-hmm.
here. You'd want to like cross utilize it a bunch.
But people love it, man. I mean, people love this process. People love obviously they want to be healthy, and it's probably something that once you get started, it's harder to go back from too, right?
Totally.
Yeah, because you're like
your body like starts craving it.
right, and that's a good thing to crave.
Yeah.
There are a lot
for
worse
sure.
things you could be craving in this world.
So we have a subscription model also.
Okay.
And so we have, 30 something subscribers who get juice every week delivered to their house. And throughout, since we're such a young company, it provides me like a great opportunity to get direct feedback from the customer. So, I'll reach out and just kind of be like, hey, how's everything? And what I hear time after time is like, my body can't, like you said, cannot go back. Like my body is used to this. I need this. You know? So it's really cool to see that.
That's awesome.
And as much as COVID has kind of taken away this hospitality world a little bit, I've been trying to do as much like digital hospitality as I can. So whether that's like texting or phone or email, or even I'll hand deliver the juice to the person and try to have a conversation.
I love it.
So yeah.
That's great, man. I mean, and we were talking about cultures too, the culture of juicing, but I was thinking about, I think I saw it on your site too earlier. You were talking about cleanses a little bit too, right? Because people do just the full on juice cleanse. Yeah, and I think that's a big cultural thing too, where people are really into it.
Yeah. So our cleanse is a little different. We incorporate a little bit of food.
Okay.
My biggest thing is like the cleanse, the best cleanse for you is the one that you're going to enjoy doing or stick to.
Sure.
Just like a workout, right? Like if you don't like your workout a little bit, you're probably not going to do it too long.
Yeah.
So I have found that like incorporating a little bit of clean protein, some salads, those kinds of things with your juice cleanse, not only provides like extra nutrients and protein, but it helps you personally enjoy what you're doing. Because not everyone wants to just drink juice all day, no matter how good it is.
Yeah.
So it helps you like actually chew on something. So our cleanses include a little bit of food. We have a herbal tea that we've created as well with that.
Oh, okay.
We make these really cool crackers out of the pulp. So we're trying to use everything we do.
Okay.
And we were throwing away like just insane amount of pulp. Juice pulp. Like, what can we do with this pulp? Like, it's just such a waste. It felt like a waste.
Yeah.
So we played around. I have this employee, Josie. She's awesome. And she played around like dehydrating all these pulps with different like chia seeds and flax seeds and almond protein, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And made these beautiful crackers out of them. They're awesome.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
Some of those.
Are those on the website?
There are not on the website. They come with the cleanse.
Oh, okay.
So you cannot order them yet a la carte. We're still kind of like figuring that all out, but they do come with the cleanse.
I love it.
Yeah.
So one other thing I wanted to talk about though is the family business legacy. Putting together, I mean, you can see it on the website as well, crossroadsjuice.com. And you can see the whole family's picture up there. And so tell me about what that feels like to you, like actually putting together a business and involving your family.
Yeah. So my wife is amazing. You've met her.
Yes.
She has a full-time job. It's not this.
Right.
So she she still is such a like creative force and she believes in what we're doing too. So she's helping a ton. I mean, whether it's like she does all our Instagram, she does all the labeling, she's like our graphics designer, she helps organize like all the packaging. I mean, she really keeps me on path. I could not do it if I didn't have her.
That's right.
So that has been just a beautiful thing to have us be a part. We've never done work really together. A little bit at Playa Grill, but that's different when it's like our own thing.
Sure.
So it's been really cool, and kids are helping out too.
Love it.
As much as they can.
Yeah.
But yeah, because family business to me, I kind of always wanted to do that. Like that's a really cool. Like you're in business with your pops, right? So
both of my parents.
Yeah, both parents. So I think it's a really cool. If you can make it work, like it's priceless. You know.
Absolutely.
Like you're building bonds.
And it's a legacy. It's a legacy.
Exactly.
You're setting that up. You're setting your whole family up for the future and all. And it gives you more things to talk about. You know, you guys are in this together. And that's a beautiful thing. I was going to ask you about the challenges of family business, but I didn't want you to go home and get in trouble. So, which is because I've been through that too. Like when I first started into the insurance business, it was back, my dad just had me doing some marketing. I might have been 14, 15, 16 years old. And that was like the most stressful times for me, you know, and of course I'm just, you know, young, going through puberty, you know, thinking about other things, I'm sure. But he's banging on my door like, it's time to get up. Let's go. You know, and he's just trying to teach me the values of hard work and getting up early and all that stuff. But when I got back into it in 2003, that's a different story. You know, now I had worked for a large corporation before and everything, and he didn't need to teach me those values. It was kind of like, you know, I had already had those instilled in me, so I moved forward from here. Now we work together.
So you're bringing something to the game. Yeah.
And you know, we're basically just friends working together.
That's cool. You guys ever have like issues kind of separating real life with work life?
See, that was the issue back in the when I was a teenager. It was an issue because he would come home and like, I'm trying to eat, and he's talking about, you know, what happened at work today. I'm like, well, that's not the life I want to live. Now I talk about, I work 24/7 just like he does. So I don't know. Maybe it just eventually worked. He rubbed off on me.
Yeah.
Being a workaholic. He's still working too hard right now. Yeah, man. So I really appreciate you coming and sitting down with us, man. This was a great conversation and education for me too, because you know, I did get to taste all the juices and everything, but now I just know so much more about what's going into the process and why you're doing it, because that's so important too. You know, it's one of the business lessons we were teaching on the last podcast is the why. You know, are you using your passion to make money, or are you just looking for making money? You know what I'm saying? And you have a passion for this, and I can see it, I can hear it, I know everybody else can hear it, and really want to see the best for you and the family for what you guys are doing.
Cool. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So let's give some contact info. Crossrootsjuice.com. That's the website. It's CROSSROOTS juice.com. And Adam has been so gracious to give us a promo code to our listeners. So on your first shipment,
first order,
you use the promo code BUSINESS. All right. You guys use that and you get a discount there. Right. Yep. And then also on IG and TikTok at CrossrootsJuice. Check it out there. Thanks again, Adam, for sitting down with us, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
you enjoy yourself?
I did.
All right.
This is awesome, man.
Right on.
I'm happy for you.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Same business, different day. Yeah. Thank you for listening to Same Business, Different Day. We truly appreciate your support. Please like, subscribe, and leave a nice comment on all platforms. It really helps our show. The Same Business, Different Day podcast is produced by A Different Day Radio, StarFox Media, and James Russell.
Same business, different day.